Hey guys, CryptoDad here again. Thanks for joining me on the Tuesday morning Bitcoin Basics live stream where you can throw out questions. I'll do my best to get them answered. I'll give you the basics of Bitcoin. I know it seems like we do this a lot. It's kind of a repetitive thing, but I kind of think of it as Bitcoin 101, right? I'm the professor, and as far as I know, there's a lot of new students in the class. There may be students that have taken my class before, I don't know. But when you go into a basic class and you sit down, listen to the lecture, he's going to talk about the same things over and over again. We learn through repetition. So anyway, thanks for joining. I can't pronounce the name, it's in Russian, but you do have the Vault Boy icon, which I think is pretty cool. Let's go over here to, I forgot to do the, the thing. All right, so good morning, everybody. Let's focus this up. All right, so I haven't shaved today, but my appearance isn't important. So you're looking at my current rig, and if you've been in my live streams before, you might notice there's something missing. It's pretty subtle, but it is. I'm working on a new rig, so I've started to cannibalize this guy for some of the components that I'll be using in the new rig. I didn't go out and buy brand new everything. I usually do cannibalize some of the older rigs. But anyway, I took away the light strips. There were light strips around the edge here, and then there were some in the front, coupled in the front, and those will be moving over to the new one. I'm most likely going to cannibalize this memory too, but the case, the motherboard, and the processor and the fans will stay. So this system will largely be intact so that it can pass down to the rest of my family. And then the graphics card that is in there is an older one that I had in my daughter's machine. I pulled out the NVIDIA card, and that's going in the new build. The new build is behind me. You can't really see it, but it's covered in black. Anyway, welcome, guys. Hello, Gino. I'm going to pop out chat here. And let's get over here. There we go. I'm going to move chat over to the other monitor, and we'll flip back over to this guy. So before we get much further, I would like to point out that there's a lot of information in the description below. My affiliate links, of course. You'll get a little bonus when you do the crypto.com affiliate link. You get $50 when you stake an MCO card. You'll get, I believe it's a $10 bonus when you sign up for Coinbase when you use my affiliate link. So will I. In fact, we'll be moving some Bitcoin out of Coinbase today. Some bonus Bitcoin I noticed that came in. So check those out. And then also down below is a link to the Mastering Bitcoin book, which is free online. And then you can also buy the book. This is the book here. I highly recommend the book by Andreas Antonopoulos. And it's a great book for learning about Bitcoin. And, the second edition, you have to buy the book, but you can get the first edition for free. And it contains a lot of good information. So I'm going to move some Bitcoin today. Thanks, everybody, for joining me. Do I like Mini TXPC? I usually stick with the, I don't know what you call it. It's a mid-range case. But it's not a mini motherboard. I believe it's like a standard size motherboard, and so I use the mid size case. Some of the bigger cases are just too much for me. I don't really need all that space. And the smaller cases that require the mini motherboards, I'm not a big fan of that either. The mini motherboards have less connectors and that sort of stuff. Anyway, let's talk about wallets before we go into moving our Bitcoin around. The word wallet is used to describe a few different things in Bitcoin. At a high level, a wallet is an application that serves the primary use as the primary user interface. So if we think about a Bitcoin wallet, it's basically an application. It's a program. It either runs on your computer or it runs on your phone. The wallet controls the user's access to money, managing keys and addresses, and tracking the balance and creating signed transactions. So this is all the stuff that a Bitcoin wallet does at that level. Now another more narrow level from a programmer's perspective, and a lot of times from our perspective so that we can get what's going on, the word wallet refers to the data structure used to store and manage the user's keys. And this is the most important part of a Bitcoin wallet. The keys. These Bitcoin wallets employ cryptography, specifically public-private key cryptography, which you can find out more about. But basically, there is a private key and a public key, and those keys are used mathematically to manage the wallet. So the private key never leaves the wallet. It is used to sign transactions, which basically just means you're authorizing a transaction to go through, just like signing a check. So if you've ever worked for someone and they paid you by check and then you ran to your bank gleefully to cash your check, and the teller pushed the check back to you and said, "Oh, they forgot to sign it," you'll know what I mean when we say that you cannot authorize a transaction without a signature, right? So it's the same with Bitcoin. If I own Bitcoin, it's not tied to me personally, right? I can't show my ID to get my Bitcoin if I lose it, right? The Bitcoin is tied to your private key. If you lose your private key, you lose your Bitcoin. So it's very important to maintain, manage, save, back up your private key. All right, so, and then we'll go a little further here. Bitcoin wallets contain keys, not coins, right? A lot of people think that a Bitcoin wallet has Bitcoin in it, and it doesn't, really. The Bitcoin is stored on the blockchain. The wallet can view that Bitcoin blockchain address, show you the balance, show you the transaction history, and all that other stuff, but you're basically looking at the Bitcoin that's on the internet, on the blockchain. The blockchain is a ledger, an online ledger, decentralized ledger with multiple copies that exists out there on the internet. Your Bitcoin wallet is basically just a little window to that, and it also contains the important part, which are the private keys. Now, we've talked about a lot of different types of wallets. There's desktop wallets, there's phone-based wallets, there's hardware wallets, and that's what I tend to demo here, is the hardware-based wallet. Now, I have a Ledger Nano X, a hardware-based wallet. As you can see, it's connected to my computer with a cable, but it also supports Bluetooth so that it can interface with my phone-based Ledger application or app. But I tend in these demos to talk about the Ledger Live application that is on my desktop. So just remember that the Bitcoin is not in the Ledger Live. It's not on here. The Bitcoin itself is, it's kind of a subtle topic. It's not really something you can touch and feel. It's digital, virtual, but it's out there on the blockchain in that sense, right? The private keys are stored on this little device, and then the software interface is Ledger Live. So let's go ahead and open up Ledger Live. We'll take a look at it. So what I want to do today is move some Bitcoin for you guys so that you can see the process of how you move Bitcoin from one place to another. And we'll use a couple of different wallets today. All right, so here's my Ledger Live interface and my portfolio. I don't believe there's much Bitcoin in here at the moment. I don't think there's any Bitcoin in here. Yeah, so I've got several Bitcoin wallets, and they're empty at the moment, right? So we'll move some Bitcoin into some of these wallets, and then we'll move some Bitcoin into a different wallet called Trust Wallet. I'll show that to you. Well, let's get it open here. All right. Okay. There we go. All right. So let's do that. It should show up here on my, yeah. So I've got a phone-based wallet called the Trust Wallet. It's on my phone. Private keys are stored on my phone, right? It also has a backup phrase that can be used to restore the wallet if I lose my phone or damage my phone. Just as Ledger Live interfaces with this Ledger device, and if it also has a 24-word recovery phrase that I keep in a safe place. If the Ledger device gets destroyed or lost, I can buy a new one and restore all my wallets onto this device using the 24-word recovery phrase. Another thing I'll mention is that a lot of people will they'll screw up their computer, or they'll get a new computer and they'll install a new version of Ledger Live, and then they'll get confused and think they need to restore this, but they don't. This has everything on it that you need to restore the interface to all your wallets. So I get a lot of people and, oh, I had to get a new computer, and where is my Bitcoin? Well, your Bitcoin is safe and sound on your device. You don't need to restore the device. It has everything on here already that you need. It has the private keys, and it already has the apps. Because you don't need to go reinstall the apps either. They're already on here, right? You didn't do anything to this. You just got a new computer, installed a blank version of Ledger Live. So you simply need to go to Add Accounts to get all your wallets back, or at least the wallets, the interface to the wallets, right? So you can see your balance again. All right, so what should we do first? Why don't we use Ledger Live first? I'll put some Bitcoin in Ledger Live. Now, before I do that, I'm going to quickly just check, see if there's anybody screaming and crying. Why is he not reading this? Why isn't he listening to me? I'm asking a question. Boo, 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 boo. No, so Gino wants to know how to update the SD card for Elipal. And that's not a newbie question. It's a very difficult thing to do. But in a nutshell, the Elipal has a little tiny SD card slot, and I don't have my Elipal handy. But when you take the battery off the back, there's a little slot there. Well, the first thing you need to do is get the updated firmware software on that little card. So you're going to need to plug it into your computer somehow. You can get a little card reader like this. All right, this is a, let's switch over to here. Whoops. Sorry, guys. Ooh. All right. So this is a little whoops. This is a little USB-based card reader. As you can see, it's got slots for a micro SD card, right? So you'll take that micro SD card, you'll stick it in your little card reader, and you'll plug it into your computer, and then you'll download on the Elipal website their latest software, and you'll store it on that SD card. and then you'll pull that SD card out of your reader and stick it in your LPAL and run the update. There's, in the settings of the LPAL, there's a little area where it says update, and then, it'll read from that card and run your update. So, and then there's all sorts of little things you need to be aware of. I believe the file is compressed on their website. You'll need to decompress the file so that, the file is in the folder on the SD card in the right format so that the LPAL can read it. But that is pretty advanced stuff. I mean, I'm not really going to cover that in depth on this, but I wanted to at least give you a quick overview of that question. For no reason, you received 100 Tron from your address. How can I find who sent it and that amount and give it back? Well, first of all, I don't know why you want to give it back. Once you got it, it's yours. It's probably some airdrop or something, and there's no way to find out who gave it to you unless they tell you, right? You can. There's probably a Tron blockchain explorer, but it's not going to give you the name and address of the person that sent it, right? You might be able to see the Tron address, but it's not going to reveal any information to you about who sent it. I wouldn't worry about it. 100 Tron is like 2 cents, maybe 20 cents. I wouldn't fret about it, right? Throw it away, send it somewhere else. I don't know. I mean, it's going to show that you had it at some point. I don't know what you're worried about, why you think you need to give it back. If someone gave me a quarter, I'd probably just throw it in the trash. I don't like change. Anyway, so no problem, guys. I'm ordering a ledger from France, but it still hasn't come, probably because of the coronavirus. Everything is slow. Yeah, worldwide shipping is a little bad right now. Yeah. All right, so let's move some Bitcoin into one of these, and we'll use my Bitcoin main, right? I want to receive some Bitcoin into this wallet, so I'll hit the receive button, and I'll hit continue, and I'm not gonna do the internal verification, right? I trust my computer. I'm just going to tell it I don't have the device connected, even though I do, right? I just don't want to go through. This is a little shortcut. So I'm just going to copy this address into my clipboard, right? I just want to give you the basics. You have a Bitcoin wallet. It has an address. The ledger will actually generate new addresses for each transaction, which increases your privacy and security. So we've got this Bitcoin address. Now, what are we going to do? We need to send some Bitcoin to this address. Well, I'm going to use my phone, a wallet, an exchange that's on my phone. So how do I get this address into my phone? Well, I can email it to myself. Well, at the most basic level, I could open up the wallet on my phone and punch in that address manually. But that's error prone, right? I might transpose a number and a letter or whatever and accidentally send the Bitcoin to the wrong address, right? It might be valid if it has enough characters in it, but I might transpose and actually send it to the wrong address. I don't want to do that, right? So it's much better to cut and paste the address, right? So I could send it to myself in an email and then cut and paste it onto my phone, right? I'll just check the email on my phone. There's an easier way. You can show QR code. Now, the QR code allows me to take my phone-based wallet and scan the QR code to get that Bitcoin address. So let's do that. Let's go over to our phone-based wallet. Yeah, I don't think there's any Bitcoin. We're withdrawing Bitcoin from the phone to the Ledger Live wallet, right? So I'm going to go over to an exchange here. I've got crypto.com. I got some CRO in here. Let's see. I'll sell 400 CRO. Oops. 400 CRO for Bitcoin. I would like to. Yeah, there it is. All right, so I'm going to trade for Bitcoin. I'll sell. Ooh, I don't want to sell it all. Oh, because I switched cryptos. It reset my amount. Let's go back. Let's put in that 400. We'll confirm that we're selling the 400 CRO for Bitcoin. I'll sell it. All right, and then I'm going to confirm it. Now, it's not going to make me use two-factor to confirm. I got to look at it. I did need to look at it, right, for my Face ID. But it's not going to ask me for two-factor authentication because I'm just making a trade on the platform, right? I'm not moving anything on or off the platform. I just simply made a trade. And so now you can see there that I've got some Bitcoin. Wow, that I was shooting for $50 worth of Bitcoin with that 400. It got really close, didn't I? All right, so now I want to withdraw this Bitcoin from my exchange, my phone-based exchange, to my Bitcoin wallet. So I'll tap Bitcoin here, and I'm not buying or selling Bitcoin, I'm transferring it. So up there in the top right, there's a little transfer button. I'll hit that, and then I'm going to do a withdrawal, right? I'm not depositing Bitcoin into this platform, I'm withdrawing it from my exchange to my wallet, right? So I know this is a basic skill. I do it all the time. We're going to withdraw from our exchange into our wallet. Now, we can move Bitcoin from our wallets to our exchanges too, but I think most people are at that point in their Bitcoin career where they've managed to figure out how to buy some on an exchange. But now they want to put it in a wallet. So we're going to do that. So I'm going to hit withdraw. And I've got lots of choices here. I can send this Bitcoin to another Crypto.com user or to my Crypto.com wallet, but I'm going to demo the external wallet. I'll tap external wallet, and there's some Bitcoin addresses there that I've already whitelisted, but this is a new address, right? So I need to add it to my acceptable, or what they call whitelisted address. So I'm going to tap that plus that's in the top right corner. I'll tap that plus, and it's going to open up the interface to add a new address. So there's a little icon there that I can tap to open up the camera on my phone. And now I can just scan that Bitcoin address. And there you can see that I've successfully added that Bitcoin address into my exchange interface, right? So now they want a name for this wallet. We'll call this one Ledger Nano X. I'll call this one B because there was already one in there before. So we'll hit continue. It's brand new. Now I need to add my two-factor authentication. So I'm going to go over to Google Authenticator, and my Crypto.com code is there at the top. I'm going to tap that, and it copies into my clipboard. I'll slide back over here, and I'll tap paste and hit continue. Hopefully I caught that one. Nope, not quite. I was a little worried. Okay, so let's start over. These codes expire, so you need to be kind of quick. Let's paste that code in there and hit continue. I believe a Google Authenticator code usually lasts for about 5 to 10 seconds. All right, I got a confirmation email from Crypto.com. I'm going to confirm that withdrawal address, and then I'll go ahead and open my browser, and it should relaunch my Crypto.com app, which it did. And there you can see there's that address. Right? So now let's hit withdraw BTC. We're in the home stretch now. I don't have $100 worth of BTC, so I'm going to edit that by tapping that where it says 100, and I can change that to whatever I want, right? $5 worth of Bitcoin, $20 worth of Bitcoin. But there's also down below the withdrawal button a max, right? I'm going to hit the max, which is about $50 worth of Bitcoin. We'll hit withdraw. Looks like the price of Bitcoin fluctuated up a little bit because now it's over 50. We'll confirm that. We're going to pay a small fee for the withdrawal. Now I'm going to need the two-factor again, right? So we'll go back over to Google Authenticator. That code's about to expire. I'm going to let it expire. wait for a new one. I'll tap the code with my finger on my phone. It copies it into my clipboard. Slide back over to crypto.com, tap paste, hit continue, verify with my Face ID, and there, the withdrawal request has been submitted. All right, and I get an email confirmation. My Bitcoin balance on here should go to 0. There it goes. And now we just need to watch on our wallet, our desktop-based wallet, for the Bitcoin to come in, right? We'll close this out. So we should see some Bitcoin coming in shortly. It's pretty cool. All right. Okay, Mark is pissed off because I've ignored his question 5 times already. Okay, Mark, what do you got? Staking Cosmos on Ledger. Okay, Mark, this is Bitcoin. So maybe on Friday you can ask that question. All right. Bitcoin basics. And I don't believe you can stake Cosmos on the Ledger. I may be wrong about that, but I'll check into it for you. All right, so we'll wait for that Bitcoin to come in. And while we're waiting for that, why don't we start another transaction? Let's go over to Coinbase, which is where most people learn how to buy their Bitcoin. So let's go over to Coinbase. They've changed their website. That's interesting. So we'll hit sign in here. I've got a password manager that gets me signed in. And 2-factor. I got to put in my Google Authenticator code for Coinbase. And hit verify. And it wants to verify my computer for some reason, but that's okay. Okay. We'll authorize the new device. All right, and that logs me into my Coinbase account. All right, and there's some Bitcoin in here, I guess. Let's go over to portfolio. Oh, okay, there was a little bit of Ethereum in there, a little bit of US dollar, and here's the Bitcoin, right? So let's go ahead and withdraw this Bitcoin. And where would we like to withdraw this Bitcoin? Well, I was thinking we'll do the Trust Wallet on this one. So I'm looking at a website, and I want to withdraw to my phone-based wallet. Now, I believe I could log into Coinbase from my phone and just do phone to phone. But you may not have the you may not have the Coinbase app on your phone. You may just be on their website. You may not feel comfortable using the Coinbase app on your phone. Of course, if that's the case, you may not be comfortable storing Bitcoin on your phone, but we'll overlook that. Let's just make the assumption that I have a phone-based wallet and I want to withdraw my Bitcoin from Coinbase. All right, so I need to give Coinbase the address of my Bitcoin wallet. So, and Coinbase is on my computer. So how am I going to do that? All right, so let's open up our wallet. We're going to use Trust Wallet. Trust Wallet is a great phone-based wallet that you can download for free and put on your phone. Alrighty, so here we go with Trust Wallet. Now, if you'll notice here that the Trust Wallet supports Bitcoin. There's some Bitcoin. There's an empty Bitcoin wallet down there. So if you don't have Bitcoin in your Trust Wallet, let's see, I think up here in settings, you can add it, right? So you've got like Litecoin isn't on there. I can enable Litecoin or disable, right? Let's just enable it, and then it's weird. Then you cancel. Okay, I thought I just did something, and then I canceled it. Oh, there it is. So there's the Litecoin. So that's how you add coins on and off, right? So, but now we've got an empty Bitcoin. Let's tap it. I want to receive some Bitcoin. Now, here's the crux, right? How am I going to get this into Coinbase? Coinbase is on my computer, so I can't really scan the QR code. Maybe I could with my webcam, but I'm not going to do it that way. I'm just going to share the address with myself. So I'll hit share, and then just choose myself, and put in my name there, and send it to myself. That gives me access to that Bitcoin address from my computer, because I sure as heck don't want to try and type it in by hand, right? That's going to be a real pain. So we can cancel this. We'll just keep an eye on the Bitcoin in our Trust wallet. So let's go back over to our Coinbase. I emailed it to my Apple address. And we'll just check that email there. All right, there's the address. We'll copy that into our clipboard, and then we'll go back over to Coinbase. Now I want to withdraw the Bitcoin from Coinbase. So over here in my Bitcoin, you're at the home screen. We went to portfolio. We clicked on the Bitcoin in the portfolio, and now we've got send and receive over here, right? Well, instead of deposit and withdraw. So slightly different interface with Coinbase. I'm going to send my Bitcoin somewhere else, right? So we're going to do send. They've changed this a little bit, but there's the email address. I'm sorry, the to address. I'm going to copy, paste that Bitcoin address in there. I don't really need a note. Okay, so we've managed to paste the address in there. I'm not that crazy about this interface. I can't really see the entire address, right? If I want to confirm it, I have to use this to sort of scroll around. I'm pretty sure that's it, though. All right, but if you were sending a very large amount, you'd want to just double check on your phone. And, well, I don't see it here either. We'd have to go back to this, right? And just confirm. Yeah, it starts with a BC1 and ends with a 7.6. Right? I didn't cut off anything. All right, now we'll just go down here to, we need to put in the amount. We can edit the amount here, like $1 worth of Bitcoin, or I can use Bitcoin. How much Bitcoin do I want to send? Right, but I'm going to choose send all, 0.003261. We'll hit send. And okay, that's how much I'm sending. I thought I had more Bitcoin than that. Oh no, it was just 60. Okay. Or it was 60 total. 30 of Bitcoin. So we'll hit send now. And it wants my two-factor authentication. So let's do that. I got to go over to my phone again. Go to my Google Authenticator. And now I need my Coinbase. All right, there it is. Go back here. Don't want to lose it. And we'll hit confirm. And then we hit done. All right, send is in progress. You should be able to see it here going out, right? So we'll hit this. And now it's got a pending. Okay. Oh, okay. So W asked do you think 1% of the world population will use Bitcoin eventually? Is there a website where you can see how the adoption of crypto evolves? That's interesting. I don't know of any website that like does that specifically. There might be though. You might. There's a lot of analysis firms that they do blockchain analysis of Bitcoin. Usually, you have to hire them. If you're a company, you would hire them to do a blockchain analysis to like figure trends and stuff like that. But they may have some public-facing areas where they actually chart how many people are using Bitcoin, how many wallets. I'll have to look into that. Coinmarketcap.com might at some point. But they usually kind of stick to pricing. Oops. But you might check coinmarket.cap. They may have some information about how many wallets are out there. But the problem with that is there might be one person can have multiple wallets. So the number of wallets, the amount of Bitcoin in each wallet is a pretty good indicator, but it's not exact, right? That doesn't tell me how many people actually are using Bitcoin. But I don't know. There might be a site out there, but I don't know what it is. And then John wants to ask, as a new member, what's the point, for example, of opening multiple wallets of Bitcoin or other currencies on the Nano, right? Because he noticed that I had more than one. Oh, there's that Bitcoin from crypto.com has arrived in my Bitcoin main wallet. So let me kind of explain. For one thing, there are two different types of wallets that you can have on a Nano. There's actually another one that you can import called a legacy. But there are two Bitcoin address formats out there. So if you'll notice, this is a SegWit. And the name is, you can name these anything you want, but Ledger suggests that you keep this, when they offer you the name of the wallet, they give you, you want a SegWit or a non-SegWit wallet, right? So, okay. This is a SegWit wallet, and if I do a receive, you'll see that the Bitcoin address starts with a 3. It's an older format of a Bitcoin address. And then if you look at this wallet, my main, the one that we're using today, we do a receive, if you remember, it started with a BC1. So that's a newer format Bitcoin address, improved, right? Supposedly faster and better and lower fees and that kind of stuff. But I think that's a generalization, right? But it's newer, so I tend to stick with it. Now, the only problem with this newer, better format is that not all exchanges support it. So if you were to say, okay, I want to receive some Bitcoin into my wallet, and then I copy this address into my clipboard, right? And then I go over to my exchange, like Coinbase, and say, send me that Bitcoin. Some exchanges will say, that's not a Bitcoin address. I don't know what to do with that, right? They don't support the BC1 Bitcoin format, right? They don't support that, right? So you need to have a SegWit Bitcoin for those exchanges, right? You'll need to withdraw your SegWit Bitcoin to a SegWit formatted wallet, right? In Ledger Live, they call them accounts, right? But they are separate Bitcoin wallets, right? So that's one, compatibility. You want, I would prefer to use native SegWit, but some Bitcoin exchanges don't recognize the new format, so I have the old format in case I need to use the old format. And just like anything, you might want to organize your wallets, right? You might want to have more than one wallet for different types of Bitcoin, right? one Bitcoin wallet is for when people pay me Bitcoin. Another Bitcoin wallet is, where I store my Bitcoin that I've bought, or one Bitcoin wallet is, for family and friends, whatever how you want to organize in your head. You can tier the wallets differently. If you're brand new and you just want to keep all your Bitcoin in one wallet, more power to you. But you might, over time, see the need for, compartmentalizing the Bitcoin that you have. And keep in mind, all of these wallets are on this device. So it's not like I'm spreading the Bitcoin around so that I'm not keeping all my eggs in one basket. That's another story, right? That would be like, oh, okay, I want, I want to keep some Bitcoin in here, and then other Bitcoin in this other wallet that I'll keep in a different location in case something happens to the, the one, whatever. So that's another reason why you might want to have multiple Bitcoin wallets. But within one copy of Ledger Live in one ledger, I might have different compartments where I might want to keep and organize my Bitcoin. Hedra Hashgraph wallet. Yow. Not so much. I don't know about that. Yeah, there's a lot of like exotic coins out there that I don't really know that much about. I'm trying to expand my horizons, but there are I have encountered a lot in my my career, my experience with cryptocurrency, and a lot of them are what I might consider overly complicated. A lot of new blockchain products, they are like, we got a great idea, it's going to do all this stuff, but then they don't really put a lot of time and effort into the user interface, or even wonder, if the average person can even wrap their head around their coin or how it works or whatever. I don't know. But there are a lot of coins out there that are just like really hard to deal with, right? I prefer to deal with the more basic stuff, at least in this live stream. Is it possible to use a VoIP telephone number with Google Authenticator? You don't need telephone numbers for Google Authenticator. Google Authenticator doesn't use the text-based two-factor, right? I'm not sure what you mean by that. If you mean, can you use a VoIP telephone number to set up a Google account, like a Google Gmail, I think you're supposed to be able to do that. But a lot of websites and email services, they need to have a verifiable phone number, right? You can't just create a phone number out of thin air using like software or VoIP. They'll probably reject it, right? Is it possible to store US Tether and MyEther wallet on a Trezor, right? Yes, you can, right? If you look at Ethereum main here, there's a zero balance. Let's see here. I need to show zero balances here. I'm not going to hide the empty balances, right? I'm going to unhide the empty balances. Let's go back here. And there's true, that's true US dollar. But you can also use US Tether. US Tether. Now there's lots of forms of Tether, right? There's one. That's an ERC20 based Tether that I can store in an Ethereum wallet. But it just depends on the Tether. There's Binance based Tether. There's Tron based Tether. There's lots of different other types of stablecoin that are not ERC20 tokens. So make sure you're dealing with the ERC20 version of Tether if you want to put it in your Ethereum wallet on either MyEther wallet or your Trezor, right? Always transfer a small amount first to make sure that it's going to get there, right, before you transfer huge amounts. All right, so let's go back over here to our Trust wallet. We're still waiting for some Bitcoin from, there it goes. That's the Bitcoin that we transferred from Coinbase, right? We moved some Bitcoin we withdrew Bitcoin from Coinbase and put it in our Trust wallet. Now, on Coinbase, they call it send and receive, wasn't it? Yeah. So send and receive. In crypto.com, they call it deposit and withdraw, right? So each exchange has its own language for moving coins back and forth, right? Deposit and with most of the exchanges say deposit and withdraw. Coinbase says send and receive, but they're basically the same thing. All right, so let's look back at our Trust wallet. So you can see there that the Bitcoin has come in, and I've got the transaction. Right, and someone was asking earlier, John was asking, can I find out who sent that? If all I have is that sending address, there's really not much I can do with that, right? Unless you're the NSA or somebody that, is able to match Bitcoin addresses with IP addresses. That's Bitcoin tracing. But the average person can't do that, right? It takes like someone with a lot of authority, right? That can actually match Bitcoin addresses to IP addresses, like location based. Right? Bitcoin is not encrypted or secret on its blockchain, right? It uses the science of cryptography for public-private key signing and authentication, but it is not encrypted. It's not scrambled. It's open, right? The Bitcoin blockchain is transparent. You can see all the transactions on the Bitcoin blockchain. But in order to tie a Bitcoin address to a human, well, that's a little tricky for the average person, right? Because you've got to somehow match that Bitcoin address to an IP address or a location of someone's computer or network card or phone or whatever, right? That's a little more advanced than the average user. I don't know that there are any services you could pay to track down a Bitcoin address. Maybe. But maybe not worth it. All right, so that's cool. Let's also, let's check. What's cool about this wallet is, you can go back and back again, and you can see a list of all the coins that you have. And then you can see that number 1 there at the top. That just means that it's still confirming on the blockchain. I don't believe it's spendable yet in this wallet until that Bitcoin actually confirms on the blockchain. Wu Ali, what do you recommend doing if one is moving to a different time zone concerning two-factor authentication? Okay. I don't think it really matters. The Google Authenticator is not time independent. So even though Coinbase is based in California, when I log into Coinbase, Google Authenticator, the code that Google Authenticator generates is based on the current time. But the corresponding code on Coinbase that they're expecting is also based on the current time, precise current time for that 10-second window or whatever you want to call it. But I've never had a problem with being in one time zone or another for that to matter, right? I was in California. My Google Authenticator codes allowed me to log into Binance and Coinbase and whatever, even though they're all in different time zones. And when I moved to Michigan, my Google Authenticator still worked, right? I didn't have to adjust it or anything like that, or re-download it. I don't think that's really a factor, that two-factor the time zone. I don't know. The lower forms of two-factor authentication, like text-based two-factor authentication, are also similar, right? It's not going to matter what time zone you're in. Wally, thank you for that tip. I appreciate that. Yes, Gino, that is true. The native SegWit is the newer address format, and the SegWit is the older format. But there are still a lot of exchanges out there that don't support SegWit, or native, the newer one, right? So you might need to maintain the older wallet. Now, also notice that once I get the I should have probably put some Bitcoin into this native SegWit. If we look at the accounts again, now that they're all next to each other, the Bitcoin main native SegWit Bitcoin address is higher in the hierarchy now because it has a balance, right? I think it sorts them by balance, right? Highest balance. But let's say that someone sent me some Bitcoin, or I withdrew some Bitcoin into a SegWit wallet. Well, the SegWit wallet is perfectly capable of sending Bitcoin to a native SegWit wallet, right? So I could just consolidate on my end, right? So if I, like, for example, Ledger sends me commission when people click my link, right? And I get small amounts of Bitcoin from Ledger, and they don't support native SegWit, as far as I know, right? So when they send me my Bitcoin, it comes into this wallet. And you can see I've named it accordingly, the Bitcoin Ledger Affiliate Wallet. Well, once the Bitcoin comes into that wallet, I can do a receive here. There's my native SegWit address. This SegWit wallet, at least in the Ledger Live, is perfectly capable of sending some Bitcoin to a native SegWit address. Right? So I can consolidate. If there were like 0.2 Bitcoin in here, I could easily move it to my SegWit wallet, native SegWit wallet, consolidate. That's generally what I do. Like I'll get some in, and then I'll send it to my other wallet and consolidate. Right? So in Ledger Live, native SegWit and SegWit are interchangeable, right? You can send from one to the other easily. I don't know why some exchanges don't just support the latest version, but you know, that's it probably requires a lot of upgrades and, you know, things like that. So it's kind of slow. Hey, CryptoDad, I like to see that you use Brave browser. I think it's awesome that Bat decided to give us that crypto for just browsing. I do use Brave browser, and pretty much exclusively. I use Chrome because of my YouTube interface. There are certain things that kind of glitch out on when I'm uploading videos, that kind of stuff, because it's YouTube, right? YouTube owns Chrome, so all of their stuff works better with Chrome. So I use Chrome for my live stream, and this thing here doesn't work very well in Chrome, right? I'm sorry, it doesn't work very well in Brave. So I kind of have to stick to Chrome when I'm, you know, interfacing with my YouTube. But yeah, you can accumulate Brave. You can accumulate rewards in Brave, and they pay them out in BAT tokens. That's pretty cool, right? And you can accumulate those by enabling ads, right? Targeted ads that you can watch and get paid for. That's pretty cool. I love Brave. But I mean, it's, you know, the main thing, the reason I use Brave is because it blocks ads and trackers by default. So you're not getting, it doesn't block them all, right? It's just like the antivirus thing. There's newer ads that somehow override Brave's blocking, right? So you're still going to get some ads, but it blocks a lot. So you don't have to deal with ads popping up in your face all the time. And it's not tracking you all over the place. Could you please help me without an update, even in an email? Look, I kind of went over what needs to happen there, so I'm not really like a one-on-one consultant on that. I apologize, Gino. I can, if you want to send me an email, I can give you some links to the instructions for Elipal. But like I said, you need to get a card reader. You need to put your micro SD card reader in this little card reader. You need to download their installer onto that card and then stick the card in your Elipal. And I mean, there's step-by-step instructions on how to do that. I think I may even have a video on how to upgrade the firmware. It should be an older one. November, December. Which one is this? Oh, that's the Titan. Okay. I don't know if I actually...
Hey guys.
I don't know that I actually do the firmware upgrade on this. Yeah. Like I said, that's one of the reasons I use the ledger, because you don't have to deal with this crap. If you ask me, it's like really difficult to do. Let me see. This is where I'm setting it up. I don't think I do the firmware update. Yeah. No, I don't. Not in that video. That's why I don't use Elipal. Secure wallet, but too difficult to use for the average user, especially the firmware update. It's because they're like, oh, we don't connect to anything, right? We don't even use a cable. So, but taking a flash drive that's been in your computer and sticking it in there is pretty much the same thing as connecting to another device, right? Somebody could put a virus on the SD card too. So I think they go to a lot of trouble not to connect to other things, but you're moving data from the internet to your device when you put that SD card in it. So anyway, no problem. Okay, well, like I said, if you want to shoot an email over, I'll try and give you like the step-by-step links to the pages where they give you the excruciating details of updating your firmware on that thing. I was wondering if you have any suggestions for me. I want my customers to be able to buy Bitcoin for me with their PayPal or MasterCard. What do you think? Okay, Saib. That's a very good question. If you've got Bitcoin and you want people to pay you in Bitcoin, the first thing you'll do is you'll say, okay, I would prefer that you pay me in Bitcoin. Can you send me Bitcoin, right? You'll give them a Bitcoin address. That's your first step, right? You're going to need to give them a Bitcoin address for them to send you Bitcoin. Now, they may have a wallet, right? They may have a wallet, and you can walk them through it too. You can say, okay, in a Zoom session, you could say, all right, log into your Bitcoin wallet. I'm going to email you my Bitcoin address, and I can walk you through sending me the Bitcoin from your wallet. You can also have them do it directly from an exchange. I've had people do that before. If I'm helping them out a little bit, and I say, please send me some Bitcoin. All they have to do is log into their Coinbase account, and they can buy a little Bitcoin and send it to you. And that way, they're not sending you Bitcoin that they already own, right? Some people, like, they want to hold all their Bitcoin. So you'll say, okay, well then buy a little Bitcoin, right now and send it to me. You're not going to lose out because the Bitcoin price is not going up or down that much in the 2 minutes it's going to take you to buy the Bitcoin and then send it to me, right? It's pretty much the same as $50. You can't buy Bitcoin on Coinbase. Bleh. You can't buy Bitcoin on PayPal right now. So, but that might be down the road, might be something that might be a reality, right? We're hearing about that. Another way that you can ask someone to send you Bitcoin is with the Cash app, right? The Cash app is real easy to use. You can download the Cash app for free. You can connect it to your bank card and load it up with cash. And then you can go over here and buy Bitcoin, right? So if you talk to your friend or your client and you say, install the Cash app on your phone, load it up with $50 if that's how much they owe you, have them buy the Bitcoin, $50 worth of Bitcoin, right? And after they bought the Bitcoin, they go back over here, there'll be a balance of Bitcoin, and then they can withdraw the Bitcoin, and the withdrawal address would be your address, right? So instead of send and receive, Cash App uses withdraw and deposit. So, but you could walk them through that. That's probably the easiest way to get someone to pay you in Bitcoin. And like I said, if you have them buy the Bitcoin and then send it to you, then they're not going to be concerned with, oh, I bought the Bitcoin and I'm at a loss. I don't want to send you my Bitcoin because I'm waiting for the price to go up, or I'm waiting for the price to go down or whatever. Just have them buy it and send it within a few minutes, and there shouldn't be any concerns about, the price of the Bitcoin, right? They're just converting cash to Bitcoin and sending it to you. That'd be the way I would do it, right? Either Cash App or Coinbase, or if they're savvy enough that they already have their own wallet, then they can just send you Bitcoin from their wallet. Yeah, Coinbase should work the best for that, right? So, like you could say, okay, just go into your Coinbase account. Let's get this. All right. Like, for example, if I owed you $50, right, you could say, okay, Rex, please log into your Coinbase account. All right, go over to trade, buy $50 worth of Bitcoin, and put it in your account, right? And have them use the debit card, because the debit card is going to be faster. If they use their bank account, they won't be able to send a Bitcoin to you right away. They'll have to wait 3 or 4 days. So if you're going to have somebody do the Coinbase thing, make sure they use the debit card option so they can send you the Bitcoin right away. If you use the bank option, they'll buy the Bitcoin, but they won't be able to send it out until the bank transaction clears. You don't want that, right? So make sure they use the debit card option to buy the Bitcoin. Once they buy the Bitcoin, have them go over into the Bitcoin app and send the Bitcoin to you. Use that email, the Bitcoin address that you sent them, right? Say, okay, you got that email I sent you with my Bitcoin address? Put it right there. And then the 50, and then send to you, right? Just about anyone can do that, right? Even if they don't know anything about Bitcoin. You can get them logged into their Coinbase account, that you can buy a little Bitcoin and send it to you. Most people can handle that. That'd be the way to go. No problem. Sorry, Gino. I'll do my best with that Elipal thing. So you can send me an email. So I'm going to sign off now. I usually only spend about an hour here on this thing. So I appreciate everybody joining me. I hope it wasn't too basic for everybody. But I do a live stream on Friday where I take more advanced questions and we do more advanced stuff. Right? We talk about different coins and whatnot. So please join me for that. Don't forget, we do the live stream Friday night, 6 p.m. I'm sorry, not Friday night, Saturday night. I moved it. I'm doing really well on Saturday night, getting more viewers on Saturday night. So every Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, please join me for the live Q&A from Michigan, where you can throw out questions and I'll do my best to get them answered. We'll talk about Bitcoin, the news, other cryptocurrencies. So please join me. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel, I would appreciate it. When you subscribe, there's a little bell that you can click that will allow you to be alerted whenever I post new content. Once again, thanks for joining me and hope to see you again soon.